Morning, everybody. Okay, today we're gonna do little tasting notes for Less Taken, which is our new stout. This is an American stout. The idea behind it is just to put something on as we head into summer for the stout lovers, right? Stout traditionally is kind of like a winter, like warming beer. When the summer hits, we just don't sell that much of it. Pretty much who we sell to are people who already love stouts, right? So we're not trying to convert anybody. We're not trying to put any like gimmicks on it, no spins, nothing crazy. We know it's going to move slow already. So my thinking was, let's give the stout lovers like something that accentuates the part of stouts that I think like makes stout lovers love stouts. So what we've got here is something that, and I'll ask you for like what you're getting out of it in a second, but I'll just tell you right off the bat because it's no mystery. It's pretty roasty, right? So a lot of those like classic coffee, chocolate, that thing we're gonna get on the nose and also in the finish. And then hops are dialed up like to a decent amount, you know. Not a lot of hop character coming through, but the bitterness is kind of there to just like make those roasty flavors pop off a little bit. The ABV on this thing is what, Ellen?
4.9.
4.9.
20 IBUs.
20 IBUs. Okay. Yeah. So so that's kind of the basics of this. So let's give it a whiff. Let's give it a taste, and you guys tell me kind of what you're getting out of it.
Reminds me of Double Buzz a little bit.
Reminds you of Double Buzz? Oh, of the coffee, right? The coffee blonde ale or the coffee cream ale that we had on. Yeah.
I don't like beers, but I like that.
Okay. Are you a coffee fan?
I do like coffee.
Drink a lot of coffee?
But yeah, I don't like beer, but I could drink that.
Okay.
I'm not a stout fan. Or really a beer fan.
Maybe I'm a stout fan.
That goes down
Maybe.
pretty easy.
Yeah, not as creamy
Not
as.
like super thick and creamy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, so I think like the not as creamy and not like that's like, it finishes very dry, right? So like there's not a lot of residual sweetness on this thing. I fermented it out pretty much like, you know, almost down to zero, which is kind of a character of like Irish stouts, like a very dry stout. If you think about Guinness, like that's got a really dry finish to it. American stouts can kind of run the gamut on it. They can either finish on the sweeter side or on the drier side. I prefer the drier side of stouts personally. Some of the sweeter stouts kind of don't really do it for me. So that was this guy. What else?
It's been getting good reviews for those that get it because they're like it's just a plain good stout, and it's not heavy like a winter stout, so I think it could transition easily into summertime.
Yeah.
It does feel lighter even though it's obviously a dark beer, but
Nice. So I'll just repeat that for the camera. So it's like what did you say, Teresa? It's been getting good reviews because it's like
because it's just a good old stout. Like there's nothing fancy about it. It's
Yeah.
just a stout, and
Yeah.
people have been really loving it that I've given it to, and they think it's great. Yeah.
nice. That's great to hear. Love it when people enjoy it. So is that the selling point? Is it like if people ask, you know, like what kind of stout is it, or like if you're trying to describe it, what's it like? You know, what kind of words have you been using, or is that what you've been saying? Like it's just a traditional kind of stout.
Yeah, I'm telling him it has like it is a little more roasted, but it's lighter on the palate as far as like the feel of it.
Okay.
And so they'll try it and they'll get a mug of it, and it's almost like our La Petite or the Rubbertoil Pilsner, where it's just a beer's beer, it's just a stout.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, I haven't had a person that hasn't liked it since they've tried it.
Hell yeah. Okay.
I see more stouts going out.
Right.
Yeah, I could see
Oh, really?
more
Okay.
stout drinkers liking this. I think I would suggest it.
Yeah. Okay.
Even non-stout, I think,
Yeah,
because
that's what I said,
it's
yeah.
not thick, on the
Right,
palate. So.
Yeah. The two stouts that we had on preceding this were both pretty, I would say, like not necessarily like stout lovers stouts.
They were eccentric.
We had Black Forest on, which flew. I mean, that, you know,
It's really good.
Thanks. Yeah, that was not like this. You know what I mean? Like if you think about what Black Forest was, which if that was our chocolate raspberry stout, that's like the polar opposite of this, right?
Desserty beer.
And then after that we had lemon blueberry crunch, which is really an experimental oatmeal stout. So that's also, that moved a little bit slower, I would say, from what I observed. But it still moved, you know. And then this guy, it's interesting that it's moving. I wonder if it's moving because it's the new beer on right now, or if it's going to continue moving through summer. But, you know, I think we'll see.
As odd as it sounds, because the name doesn't have a flavor to it,
Mm-hmm.
it sells better.
Wait, what's
The
the name
name
of
has
it?
a flavor. I feel like people are.
It's called
off
Less
put.
Taken.
Yeah.
Okay, so the comment there was
People are
that.
like, lemon and blueberry. I don't know. They won't even try it. But this, they don't know what it tastes like because the name is just Less Taken.
Interesting.
I've
Interesting.
also had people like appreciate the well-roundedness of the beer list, even though
Right.
we are transitioning into summer, that we still feature a stout. I feel like it's been very appreciated as well.
Yeah,
And
and
I'm just writing it off and not having it for the summer because it's a little more leaning towards winter. I've had a lot of people be super excited.
we'll have dark beers on like all summer long. We'll keep that well-rounded menu like throughout because that's something that I believe in as well. I'm glad to hear that it's being well received. You know, we'll have a high ABV, we'll have a high ABV IPA and a low ABV IPA, and the sessions, we'll keep sessions, and we'll have some wacky experimental stuff, and like, yeah. What we have set right now is more or less the guidelines of each tap for the summer. I set that about 3-4 weeks ago, moved a bunch of beers around. Like, if you remember, one morning you came in and all the faucets were like in different places, and that was us setting up for summer. So you're gonna see things like change. You're gonna see some things not change, but like the Cure and, you know, the Pilsner and stuff. But these are kind of the guidelines that we're gonna go through the summer on. See how that does. Change it up going into winter, and then we'll use this summer's data to kind of like analyze and come up with what we're gonna do next summer. Always thinking ahead here. Okay, as far as the beer goes, any other comments there? Any other tips for people who might be watching this video on how to sell this thing? I think we covered it pretty well, personally. Okay, one other thing. I'm gonna harp on it. Sorry, not sorry if I sound like a broken record here. Please, please, please offer to guests the opportunity to grab take-home beer as part of before you drop the check. I know it's not happening all the time, and I know that because I see and I personally stock pretty much every can or crowler, and I fill pretty much every crowler that goes into that cooler. I know it's not happening because it friggin' works. And I think that people just aren't taking the risk. It's a numbers game, right? Half the time people, you know, probably more, people are going to be like, no, I'm all good. That's fine. But the time that you get the upsell, where people buy 1, 2, 3 crowlers, a 4-pack to go, we've got stuff on there that's not on the tap list, and we don't do can pours. That is worth it. That's going to be worthwhile. Furthermore, we're going to have a competition every week. Whoever sells the most to-go beer, and Colleen, you're going to come up with a way to track that. We're going to figure that out, but it'll start today. Whoever at the end of the week, we'll see who sells the most, and they'll get a prize of some kind, probably beer. And you'll have some agency in what beer. I'm not just going to throw our old beer at you. Like, it'll be like the premium and most likely your selection. Okay? So I really want to push this. I really think that we're leaving our chips on the table here. You know, it's silly to me. And I'll keep filling them if you keep selling them. So
I think it should be easier because now we're going to have people on the lake that want to take beers with them. So it should be easier.
I agree that it should be easier, but like, here's what I want to say to that. Let the customer make the decision. You know, don't decide for the customer because their answer might surprise you. You know, you're not inside somebody's head. You don't know if they're going to take away beer, if they're not going to take away beer. Ask them the question. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right? So please, 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 to hear and everyone that's in this room and everybody that's watching this video, please ask the question. That's all I have. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I have a fun story.
Yeah.